Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to share my experience with childbirth. I did not have quite a good experience. I know it's not supposed to be a pleasant experience, of course, in the hospital when you are in labor and all that. However, I honestly felt ignored by a doctor, especially when things got really intense. And let me ask you, have you ever felt disrespected by a doctor, especially when you are in need, or like you actually need this doctor to attend to you? Leave a comment, let's communicate. Yes, I feel like at that moment most like these are issues people don't really address, because I feel like at that moment you just want to get away with it, get your baby, go home. You understand, but it can really torture you, because why should you ignore a patient?
Where are your whips?
Anyway, so for me, I remember that morning I woke up. I was so hungry. I told my mom I'm so hungry. I was craving for chapatis, and then she was like, okay, fine. She made chapatis. I ate. I used to eat a lot, like, I don't know, 4 or 5. Yes, I did. Anyway, so and then I went to sleep. I just felt a little bit tired, so I went back to sleep. And around midday I noticed my water broke. Okay, at that moment I didn't know what was happening, so I called my mom, and then I was like, wait, am I peeing on myself, like what's going on? And my mom was like, no, I think it's time we should go, because I didn't know I was my body was preparing for delivery, because I was not experiencing labor pain. I used to think that you have to experience the labor, like in that it's a procedure, like you have to go through the labor pain, then water breaks, and then childbirth, delivery and all that. But I didn't know it can also be the other way around. So my water broke, and then I was taken to the hospital. Getting there, I remember this nurse saying that I should be induced. Then I refused. Fast forward, so I was not induced, and but the water kept on coming out, and at this time it was yeah. So a certain doctor said they should do a scan, so that they can see the state of the baby and the position of the baby, because I was not experiencing labor at all. So remember, my water broke around noon, and this time we're talking it's around 5 hours. I'm still not experiencing labor pain, but my water keeps on coming out. So the doctor said I should be done for a scan, so that they can see the position of the baby and all that, which they did. My other baby was ready for delivery. The other one was breech.
A baby is breech when they are positioned feet or bottom first in the uterus. Ideally, a baby is positioned so that the head is delivered first during a vaginal birth. Some breech babies can be born vaginally, but a C-section is usually recommended.
Which meant it was difficult for me to have normal delivery. So it was CS. So I was scheduled for CS the next morning. That night, I remember I started feeling labor pain at around 6 in the evening. Around 7, things got intense. I went to the doctor, and I told the doctor that this is what I'm feeling. And then this doctor tells me that in case it gets worse, I should go back and inform the doctor. So at around 8:30, it was really getting intense. So I went back to this doctor, and he comes and tells me, and I quote, umewahi kusikia uchungu wapi? Like umewahi kusikia uchungu wapi? What do you mean you are experiencing, you are in pain? Because maybe that doctor expected that I will be screaming and crawling and doing all sort of things. I'm those type of people who have high tolerance to physical pain. Emotional pain can really damage me more than physical pain, so like niko na hiyo uvumilivu ya physical pain, if you know what I mean. Yes, so I went back to my bed after I felt really bad, because at the end of the day I was feeling how I was feeling. You can't dismiss me just like that, like mimi ndo niko na mwili yangu, mimi ndo najua venye nasikia. Yes, so but what could I have done? Again, it didn't stop. Nilikuwa nasikia uchungu sana. So I went to the receptionist. I had to go out and tell the reception. The lady was at the reception, and I told her I was feeling, and she was like, oh, that's a good sign, nini, I'll call the doctor. But then I'm like, it's really not a good sign, because I'm supposed to be going for CS in the morning. Honestly, at that moment I felt maybe let me just wait, and whatever happens, because what can I do? So I go back to this doctor and tell the doctor, like I'm seriously in pain, and that's when he's like, oh, okay, fine, twende tukakuangalie nini. And then ako like, kumbe ulikuwa in pain ukweli? Mtoto anataka kutoka ile kabisa, but haezi kwa sababu ako Breech. Yeah, so that's when they started kuharakisha nini, kuni prepare, now preparing me for theater. So at this time it's around 11, almost midnight, and the small conversations that they were having here and there. I remember telling this doctor, excuse me, I honestly think you should do what my report says, because I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't want to go so much into details, but then that's what happened. I honestly feel like it's wrong, especially when a patient raises alarm. I feel like she should be attended to with immediate effect. Yeah, but honestly at that time, in as much as I felt like whatever I was feeling at that time, in my head I'm like, okay, just get my babies out, give me my babies, I'm done with you guys. Yeah, anyway, the moment I had my babies, now when I went back to the ward, I felt empty. I don't know, for some reason I felt so empty. And the most weird part is that I felt so ashamed. I don't know why. I don't know if there's anyone who has ever experienced that. Anyway, so I'm out of the ward. When you have a C-section, when you go through a C-section, normally I think you're discharged after 3 days, so that they take the 3 days to monitor the babies and making sure everything is okay. But that following night, I realized my babies are not okay. You see, I'm a very observant person. I'm not a doctor. My career has nothing to do with being a doctor, but I just noticed they're not okay. You can feel. I raised alarm. I told them I feel like my babies are not okay, because I remember they will cry so much, and aside from crying, the temperature, I felt like they're not okay. And then this doctor tells me that nimefinika mtoto nguo mingi, so nipunguze. I'm like, ni mtoto ametoka pali pako na joto sana. What are you talking about? Anyway, I was like, okay, they're doctors anyway. The next day, I called another doctor. It's like, tafadhali niangalie temperature ya watoto. Akaniambia, sinaona temperature iko sawa, watoto wako sawa. So I looked like that paranoid first time mom. But in actual sense, I could feel something is wrong, Anyway, so the next day, the day I was supposed to be discharged, I was happy and all that, but deep down, I felt like my babies are not okay. So I raised the alarm again and was like, wait, ebu niangalia watoto temperature yao. And that's when they checked, and my babies were really, really sick. For 40.5, 40.5. That was the temperature. That's when they're like, wait, we need to get an ambulance. We need to rush you to another hospital, so that they can be checked. They can be, I don't know. I could not breastfeed my babies because I didn't have milk. There's nobody to tell me these things. My babies were put on a nursery, so they went through phototherapy to get rid of the jaundice from them. Yeah. So I had to stay for in the hospital. Yes. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please share, subscribe, comment. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Like how the hell was I supposed to know anyway? Like she should be